Hi everybody. Today I am going to be doing my thumbnail, as unfortunately they've been on for over a week and a half, but I have cracked it right in here and on the other side, on that side there. It's actually beginning to come loose away from my cuticle area anyway. This is my right hand and I use it an awful lot, so I'm going to be taking this one off and then replacing it, but I'm going to replace it with today some very awesome pink glitter of mine that I have. So that's going to look really, really nice. I'm going to embed it in the gel, so that should come out quite nice. I'm looking forward to doing that. And I might, if I think it looks okay, put one of my little bows in. I'm not sure which one yet, but it's either going to be a purples contrasted or one of these 3 pink ones to go along with it. As the last time on this hand I had one of these Chanel Diamantes on, of which now my nail has now changed and it is now a reverse French with a clear tip and with the newsprint on to match this finger here. I enjoyed doing that one last night myself, at home by myself. So let's get started on doing my thumb. So I need to remove the shine. And to do that, I'm going to use my 240 grit file. It's a very well used file, this one, but it's gonna go after I finish this one today. And this is on my opposite hand. I think I said that before on my first video, which obviously wasn't the best of videos, but in my opposite hand it's a bit more difficult, and I use some really weird and wonderful ways of moving my thumb to get the job done. So this isn't the way that I would actually do a set of acrylics if it was on a client. I am actually looking forward to showing you some more videos later in the year and the months to come as well, because I have ordered a handy hand so that it can be very helpful, and I can sit and I'll have a hand facing this way and I will be able to do it whilst you can see it rather than trying to awkwardly do my own. But at the moment it's on mine, and I'm always changing my nail designs to get very bored very quickly. But this was a test because this was my gels, the builder gels. I started using the Canni ones and I want to see how long they'd last, and to be honest I am absolutely amazed with this stuff. I did some test ones with some clients and a family member, so my family member has, ridden them into the ground. They did pop off. They were my first set. So in doing so, she gave me some really helpful hints, and I was able to rectify the issues on my next set that I've done, of which actually is my own hand, this one here. I've practiced a few times. This has been replaced before because I broke it. As I said, did this one yesterday. But the growth, and I've had these on for now nearly 3 weeks. I'm going into my 3rd week tomorrow, so ignore these 2, they've been replaced, but the growth is amazing. It's phenomenal, and they are not lifting, they're not moving, they're all in place. So quite impressed with this gel so far. This hand has been on for over a week and a half and it is all still in place apart from my thumb, which we're sorting right now. So my 240 grit file is the one that can give it some really good welly, and really get into it and take this shine off. So taking off the gel is new for me as well, because I haven't done that before. I would normally do this if I did this with acrylics. You file it down very thinly and take away all of the lifted area. So that's what I'm generally going to do today. Just get myself my brush to get some dust so I can see what I'm doing. So if I put my file down and put that back up there, I know where it is. I'm going to get my nipper, one of these which you should all have and use, especially if you're going to be doing a renewal. So, and then you would go underneath and you would lift and take off any of the lifted areas. Now this is really bendy. That's so different for me. I'm so used to acrylics. So this is just bendy. Ooh, it's quite different. Very different. I'm not used to that. Also, I'm using my opposite hand, so I'm not used to don't have as much force in this hand to actually do that, crack it off. And that went somewhere, that went flying. They're a long way when you don't cover it up with your fingers. So this is coming off quite easily. It was very lifted all in the middle. Again, this is actually quite bendy, but that's because, like I said, I don't have as much force in this hand. So, and there we go. That's almost a complete nail, just come straight off. If they all do that, that would be really good, but obviously this hasn't given me a great insight into how a gel comes off once it's having an infill. But let's buff my natural nail gently with just my buffer. That's all I do, because there's no more residue of any gel on there whatsoever. So I'm just going to buff this off, and I have a really lovely colour thumb because I was doing some purple, the colours, when I did my Canni video the other day. So I got a bit of purple gel underneath there. So I will clean and clear that off in a minute. I'm just going to buff this nice. It's all you need to do on your natural nail plate. You don't want to put anything really harsh on it, nail file or anything. Just go around my edges. Again, that's a bit weird angle because it's my other hand. So I'm just going to give that some clean with my cleanser. And then I will take a cuticle stick, a little wooden one, in a minute, to take off the gel purple colour from underneath my nail, which is probably going to show shortly. So I'm wiping anything off, any oils and any dust that I've got left on my nail. Okay, there's one very grubby looking nail. It's okay, it's not too bad, it's purple. It's nice because it's purple, so that's quite cool. Now, I can't find my little wooden stick, so I will use my gentle tool underneath. This is on my own nail, so that's okay. I wouldn't use this on a client, to be honest, because you don't know how far you can go. When you do it yourself, it's easy. So I've got my purple out. So now it's a normal colour again. That's all the purple gel from yesterday. Just going to go and put this tool in my barb side for a couple of hours. Right, so that's a good neat nail. There's nothing I need to do on there apart from a little bit of cuticle area, so that I know that that's nice and neat and pushed back. I haven't got any extra growth on my nail plate there at all, which I don't think I have. But you should always make sure that all the side walls are clear with no dust. I had a phone call on my phone, so the video stopped, but hopefully I've joined it in okay. So I was doing my sidewalls, but in the time I took off from the phone, I finished doing all on my cuticle area and my sidewalls, and I've re-cleansed the nail, so I don't need to show you how to do that again. I'll use a file gently just to get around the top end of your cuticle really close as you can, really gently, so that the nail bed is totally done. But as I said, I have actually done that now, so it's all prepped and primed and ready to have my Canni gel put on, so that I can build my shape out, build the apex, take my form away, and then I will cleanse it, decorate it, and hopefully we'll have a really awesome thumb at the end of it. So I will start to do the base, of which we need to put some primer on, base coat, and then we can get started from there. I always do 2 layers of primer. I just prefer that because this dries really quickly. It's very nice to use. I don't always use 2 primers, but when you're trying to put a gel on, I like to make sure that the nail plate's fully covered and it will adhere really nicely. So that's dry now really quickly. If you're doing all 10 nails, you would come straight back to the first one, it would be completely dry, but it's dried really quickly. I think there's only one little damp spot, but it dries very quickly, this. There we go, that's the primer on. I just need to do 1 coat of base coat. Same with the Canni one as well. This is such a lovely system, and I'm actually really pleased I've got it. And all of these videos I've just done as a practice, because I'm learning as well with this new system. You do when you get a new system, a new brand. And it's really lovely just to show you all the cool colours that I'm using and designs and ideas. It's just really nice to share them. I'm not doing the videos for any other reason but just to share and enjoy, because it's that time of sort of rolling with the times, as my kids say. And you don't know if you don't show people things. So that's got a base coat on now, which has got to go in for 2 minutes as I have a nice UV lamp. Okay, so that's been cured under the UV lamp. I'm going to put on my form. In the time that I was curing it in the UV lamp as well with my other hand, I got myself ready a dapping dish of acetone, pure alcohol, so that I can loosen up my brush so that I can easily dip it into the gel and wipe it off when I've done. So my foil is on, neat, flush underneath, no gap in between your nail, free edge at all. So this is my opposite hand, as I said previously. I do find it a little more difficult to get the ratio right and the exact position. So they do come out in a bit of a weird shape sometimes when I do my opposite hand. But I'm learning. So I've got a good bead of gel on here so that it will make a nice shape. And I always start just as close as you can get to your cuticle. Everyone has completely different methods as to how they do these. And you do learn how to move product around. As I said in some of my other videos, I'm so used to using acrylic because that's what I chose to work in more in my salon. In my little nail bar I have. But I'm qualified in fiberglass, gel polish. So I thought I'd give this a go because I'm going to try and do a little less of my acrylics now. I found for me, I personally actually have a bit of a back problem, and the effort in filing the acrylic nails is quite harsh because it's a lot stronger to file, a lot harder product. So I did find that that's sort of limiting me quite a bit. Now I'm putting a few individual beads on here, as I said, because it's my opposite hand. So I do it slightly differently than I would if it was a proper nail. So I'm just going to let that level itself back up and plonk it on the free edge. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. So now I'm going to wiggle this bead around into the shape that I need, which is the same as my other hand, a nice almond shape. And then because it's my opposite hand, I'm going to take a look at this in a second to see the shape and how much product I've got and where the product's gone. I'm just going to wipe my brush so I can get it in some alcohol so that I can clean up around my sides, because I don't want to set this too much in the wrong shape because it'll be harder for me to file later on. So I'm taking off that bit there. Dip my brush again so that I can get it nice and clean, and it is just on the edge here on my cuticle as well. It's not anywhere near my cuticle, it's on my side walls. And I don't want them on there. So I'm just going to pull that gently around here. Just wipe the brush again. And then I'm just going to check here. I think there's a little bit missing just on the edge there. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Just a little bit rolled onto here. You want to make sure it's all covered. So I've got my almond shape. And that there is covered because I don't want a gap between that and the nail. That will cause lifting and cracking. So I'm just going to check it all again, move it all around. And I'm going to tip it upside down. Gravity is brilliant with gel. It will stop it going into the side walls and the side now as I've cleared it up, so it's neat around the edges. So I'm just going to let that gravity do its thing for a minute or two. Being my opposite hand, it takes me a little bit longer to do. So if it was on my other hand when I did this one, it was a lot quicker because I've got a really good flow on how to do them. So I'm just going to very quickly turn this over and check along the sides. So I just want to make sure there's a gap between my skin and the side walls. And I'm now going to go and put that in here for 2 minutes. UV is 2 minutes, and an LED I believe is 60 seconds. I don't have an LED. A lot of people find it sort of handy to use because it is quicker. I have heard that with LEDs the downside is that they can cause heat spikes once it's curing. And I don't want that for my clients, so I'm more than happy to stick with my UV at the moment. This Canni gel as well is actually specifically for UV lamps. It's not designed to work under an LED. It does say so on the website and in all the packaging. So 2 minutes is a little bit of a long time, but at least you know it's been cured quite nicely. And then once this is cured up, I'm going to remove the form, and then I can go on to create my apex, which will be really nice. Get a nice thumbnail shape, and then I can get on to doing my design. So this is nearly done. I'm not sure. I know I've got my pink glitter to show you all, which I've had for years. But I showed you gels and all the colours I had the other day, along with my drill. I was ever so excited to open all of that. But I also showed you 3 really lovely packets of new glitter, very fine holographic glitter. So I think I might actually use some of that in the wisteria, the tester pack. So my thumb's done, but I think I might use this wisteria as a tester pack as well. So my thumb's done. It has gone into my side walls a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. It is my nail. And again, as I said, it's my opposite hand, so that's not really a bother. So I'm going to take off my form now, which was making the shape. So put that in the bin and take a look at it. It's not too bad actually. I thought it had, but I think it just had gone onto the form rather than onto here. So that's actually not bad. I've got quite a, it's exactly along the line with my natural nail, and especially on this other side. Very, very nicely done on there, straight line. It's a really weird shape right now. So what I'm going to do is just do the apex, build that up. Because it's very flat, I need to have it thin here and up here and an apex and thin at the end. As you should always make sure that that happens. So I'm going to take another bead, a fairly good bead this time, to do the apex in. It's quite warm in my nail bar today, so this is quite a runnier consistency than what it has been of late when I've been using it. So that's quite a bigger bead, because I want to make a really good apex on here, because when it's your thumb, it's quite good to have a solid thumbnail and a good prominent apex shape. I've got a couple of bubbles in here. I had been struggling with bubbles, but if you put the brush in the area quite nicely, it just pops it and it disappears, and then you get a really lovely, lovely glass finish. So I'm just gonna do those bubbles and then move this gel where my brush goes. So that's great. So nice to use. It's all soft, and I want to keep as much bulk of the gel on the apex area. So I'm not going to push too much back onto here right now, just a little bit, so that it creates that nice thin area. I have another bubble just in there. I've noticed I get more bubbles in the clear than I do with the coloured ones. So if anyone's got any ideas as to how to lessen the bubbles, so I'm just going to turn that upside down and have a little look from upside down. So So I've got a little gap there which I'm just going to pull and let rest. And turn it a little bit. And then I'll put this in the UV lamp again for 2 minutes. Do my brush again, and I will be right back. Okay, so that's been cured. I've wiped it with the residue wipe. I'm just going to file this into shape. I've got the level that I'm happy with for my nails. So I'm just going to file this into shape with my 240 grit file first. Gets it into the shape I need. It's just the right length, so touch my other hand. The gel's so much softer than the acrylic, so I really don't have to file very much. I was actually looking forward to using my electric file, but being my opposite hand, I'm not going to try that. I'm pretty good in my right hand, my correct hand, but I'm not going to test that in here because even filing with the normal file at the moment, I'm using a very, as I said before, weird and wonderful way. So to get the shape I need, I'm more moving my thumb than the file. And when you're doing yours, you only look on the one view this way down, but you need to turn your hand around to look at the front view as to what it would look like as, you know, your client's view would see their hands. So I have to do the same with mine as well. So occasionally I think the video might not have my thumb in it, but apologies for that. It's just because this is such an awkward job when you're doing your own. So I am looking forward to having my hand when she comes so that I can show more views of exactly how I do them. And just coming up with new ideas, new colours and everything. So it's just going to be very exciting to have. So I'm doing as much as I can with this 240 grit file to get the shape in correct. I'm going to go around the cuticles in a minute and over the top. I'm just trying to get this shape down to a nice oval to match my other thumb. So I'm going to check my shape and length and size. That's looking pretty good for matching. And so this file as well is a little bit old, so I've used it a couple of times now. And it's a hygienic file so that I can re-clean them. They're cleaning. So I spray it with my tool spray. But I don't use it for very many clients at a time, and it's only ever used on the false nail, so it's just got dust. It's just got dust all on it. So I'm going to quickly check this all over top and bottom. It's got a bit of a weird shape on the top there, but as I said, the filing of them is a little difficult to do when it's your opposite hand. So let's just quickly check that again, and they look pretty similar. It needs some on top and some around the free edge. So I'm just going to do that very gently, just around and over the top. So then I can get on to putting some colour and glitter. I still haven't made my mind up yet. I'm going to wait until I look at them. I don't have to do too much around my cuticle because obviously this gel is just fantastic at just sort of staying put, and it doesn't flood at all into any cuticles or sidewalls. So it's got a really flush area around a cuticle at the moment as it is. So I don't really need to do much around there. So it's very thin at my cuticle, and it's got the nice little apex that I'm happy with for my nail, and it's going to go finer into there. So I just want to make sure that this is very smooth all over the top and level. So I go for all angles when I'm doing that, especially as I'm doing it by hand, so it can take a little bit longer. So bear with. It's not a super quick process, even if you are just doing one nail. Neatening up the side walls and over the top and down the sides. So then I bring it up and around. So I like it all to be in one motion. Then you don't have scratches all over your nail. So when you buff it, which I will do in a minute. I'm nearly done with this. Just need to check that that's good looking smooth. And you'll know when you put the line on and the polish that it's all going in one direction. Because at the moment you can see it's not. It's a little lump here and up there because you've got a shiny bit and a matte bit. So you know, and I can feel it, that it's not completely smoothly curved at all yet. So I've just got to get this so it matches. And then once the colour's the same, you know that it's all smooth and you can feel it as well. Over the years with a good technician can feel that it's all really smooth. So I'm just going to continue filing. I think I can hear one of my children coming, so hopefully it won't be a question for me. So my son, my eldest son, has just walked past the window to say hi, so I said hi. Right, now that is all one colour. I can feel it's smooth. I can't see or feel any lumps in there anymore. Just going to do a bit more on this angle here, so it's a little thinner on the side wall there for me. My preference. That's all it needed. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of my dust I have on my hands, my brush, and then buff it all up quickly. And again, I'm holding this dead still and just rubbing my hand around and my own thumb. So hopefully this will come up really nicely underneath, on the sides, around the front. And I've done the cuticle area, so that's good. So we need to get rid of dust. And my buffer decided to, I don't know, jumped out. Jumping ship. Folding away my dust here because I don't want that in my way. Let's just brush off the last down there. And I'm going to go ahead and cleanse. And then I'm going to put some top coat on. It's top coat that has a tacky layer, so that I can then adhere my gel to it, and I will come up with a decision as to what I'm going to use. So I have wiped that, and that is a really lovely nail. It's thin, cuticle as always should be, and with a nice raised bit in the middle there, and thinner to the free edge, as always. So I'm going to put top coat on here and cure it, and then I'll be back. Okay, so what I've done so far is I didn't top coat it. I buffed it off properly and I put some top coat on a slant because I can't decide whether I like the pink glitter or this wisteria glitter that came, the holographic. So I have, as you can see, put it on a slant on the pink, and I've done top coat, I've dipped it in the pink, and then I put top coat on again, so that's a tacky layer now. So I'm going to put some of this wisteria on. But I need to top coat that and then dip in and put some on. So I'm going to top coat with a tiny bit of top coat, and I'm going to go along that way from the cuticle back with the top coat down into a point in the corner, so I have another slant but in a different angle. And then I'm going to cure that for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to put the wisteria holographic on that side. Okay, so that's been cured. I did it for a little bit less than 2 minutes because I know I'm going to be doing the glitter. So I'm going to tip some of this glitter out onto this lid that I have, and hopefully I'll be able to pop it back in. So I was going to use my little tool here to pour. I wish I could leave a link into where I got this. I don't even remember where I bought it. I've had it for so many years. But the pouring I'm not going to do, so I'm just going to pick some up with my brush and just sort of gently tap it on to the cured layer of gel that has the design on it, as I think that that might be a better idea. And then just dab it in very gently, pick it up and dab it in. This is all, I do glitters quite a lot for clients, but doing them in these designs like this is very different. I haven't done this before. In slanted angles, it's always been over the whole nail, so this is going to be really, really different and really nice. So make sure that this is all covered in the area that I did. So I'm just going to wipe off that brush and neaten away the glitter that I don't want to be on this side, because this is a dry brush, it's not sticking. So just brush the brush off, and I'm going to tap my thumb a bit to get some of it off. And that looks quite good. There's none come off and not gone over the other way as well. There's a little bit just there. Glitter gets everywhere. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to get my top coat again. It's a little bit thicker on here because I'm going to try and drop it on and drag it like I did with my pink, as I found that that worked quite well for me at the moment. So I'm just going to drop it on the top and kind of like the builder gel, actually sort of gently move it down, and then I will cure this again in this shape that it's got. You can see it's not causing me any problems with the glitter that I've put on top because it's stuck to the layer underneath. So I've done that quite nicely along there. It's on the cuticle area quite nicely, not touching the skin but near the cuticle where all the glitter was there. Moved it down, I can't see any gaps, and because I don't want to put this straight back in the pot, I just wipe it all off and double check that there are no glitter in there. But doing it with the big blob, I have never found I've got any glitter on my brush. I do have a separate one for glitter for my general use, but this is just for my nail at the moment. So I'm going to put this in and cure it again, and then I'll be back and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with the middle. Okay, so that's cured and I've wiped it. I only wanted it to be subtle. I don't want it to be very thick. You can do it very thick and you would need to put a nice pale pink base underneath, then it would make the glitter stand out, and the same, you'd want a nice lilac for this to stand out, and you do a couple coats of the glitter and the dipping and the curing. I'm not wanting to do that because I only want it to be very subtle. So it's been cured and wiped, and it is a little gritty, but it's going to have a layer of gel on the top yet. But before that, I'm going to hopefully use some of this nail art pen of mine that I have. I'm just going to draw some very gentle purple lines, just coming and swirling in. Nothing too outlandish or sort of wild, just some very thin little lines. I kind of like just gentle sort of swirls, and if I don't like it I would just quickly wipe this off. Because again, this is in my opposite hand, so I tend to find it very difficult to draw in that hand. So I'm just going to do some gentle lines to sort of flow in to the colours that I've already put on here. That's quite nice. I'm not going to go putting ahead the bows that I had seen, because you don't want too much. You don't want bows and glitter and art. It's just too much. So these are some gentle flicks that I'm putting on here. And I think, yeah, it's quite nice. I'm going to draw one down here a little bit further so that goes in quite nicely. I've got some of my lint-free pad on there still. They may be lint-free, but they still linger on your nail. Just going to get a little bit more on here on my brush so that I can do, I think what I'm going to do is bring some round from here. They blend into there. And another little one, just a little one, just into there. Because I only want it to be gentle sort of an addition to the glitter, nothing too bold. Okay, so I think they're really nice blended in colours. I quite like that. Hopefully that is focusing. So that dries very quickly, so I'm just going to leave that for a little bit whilst I screw the lid back onto my varnish, and then I'm going to grab the top coat again and put a nice layer on the top over the artwork and over the glitter again. As I said, this will set really nicely now, and it won't, because with glitter you do get a little bit of a grainy feel unless you cover it really well with maybe some more of your builder gel, but then that's going to make it another thicker layer on your nail. So even if you just put a couple of coats of gel top coat on, then your nail will not be so gritty with the glitter. But it is very fine glitter I'm using. It's the finest I can find. Oh, and the holographic is absolutely beautiful, just shining in all of the light there. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 2 minutes in my lamp, whilst I'm putting away some of my products as well. I will still need my nail surface cleanser to finish my nail in a minute, of which I will show you when it is out of my lamp. So I'm going to put my little glitters away. And the holographic is just so lovely. My cuticle pusher I'm going to pop into my barber side. My brushes I will be spraying so that they are all cleaned. And I do that with my tool spray so that it's all fresh and hygienic. Except this one is full size. It takes a little bit more. It's got to be done. Okay, I'm just going to leave those there. I'm going to pop away my purple art brush and my top coat. I will put away because that goes behind me. I'm going to get out a lint-free pad so that we can wipe my nail once it's out. And I really hope you've enjoyed the video. I will put on some pictures of my nail when it's finished so that you can see them, and I hope that the picture will come up with some of showing how well the holographic goes with all of the light, because it's just wonderful. It's been a little while since I've had some holographic glitter again, so I'm really pleased, and I'm going to order some more from the Angels Glitter that I did purchase this holographic one from that I've used today. I just thoroughly enjoy doing nails and making them look really nice. I'm going to take over with my pads. My nail is now done out of my lamp and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a see-through, but it's really quite taking, and there is no, I don't need to put a second coat on. This isn't catching anywhere, so the glitter is all cured up and covered it very nicely with no lumps or bumps. So I'm going to put on my cuticle oil and it's all finished. I'm really pleased with that. I'm quite chuffed with it. It's quite a nice different style to what I've normally had done, with the pink glitter on the tip there, and it blends in quite well with the pink that I already have. So there is my finished nail, and it's absolutely stunning with all of the glitter. So thanks for watching again. Thank you. Bye.